Hello. No nonsense this week. We're going to get straight into the programme because we've got some tremendous feedback from the last edition with Professor Murtry.
Brilliant.
Absolutely. The kind of, it's not about the quantity, I feel. It's not about the quantity of people who view us, but the quality of the people who view us. And I've just got my glasses here because it is just amazing. We've got people from, obviously you expect, given that the professor was talking about the benefits of walking, people from the walking community, the lifestyle community, psychologists, public health managers. So a few shout outs to Jane Gallagher, who said, what a great programme and episode, defo worth a headphone emoji. I've got, no, I'm not.
Just to let you know, it means worth a listen. You know,
worth a listen, right, okay, that she can view it as well. From Dr. Sarah Morton, from our friends at Pass for All, Colette Brawley, from Get Scotland Walking, Ilsa Niven, Julie Hughes, and again from Professor Eamon O'Neill.
Thanks, Eamon.
He does say he's now expecting a tenner in the post for every time he comments.
Is that another tenner now?
I'm going to get bankrupt at this rate. And also I like from one of our valued volunteers, Dave Greer, of whom more later. And really good news, even from our board chair, Heather Henderson, who said, love it. And I know, I'm quite relieved because it's annual appraisal time at the moment.
Yeah,
you know,
you'll need all the help you can get.
I need all the help I get. I mean, you're on the way out, I've heard, but I do my own appraisal, so I'm hoping that's going to go quite well. Anyway, and it's been a busy week for us here at Partnerships for Wellbeing because we've launched a new initiative, which is our out and about trips. So a lot of people, especially elderly people, found themselves quite isolated during the kind of lockdown months. And we got a nice wee grant from Bank of Scotland Foundation that allowed us to hire the Merchant minibus from our friends at the community centre there. And we're starting to take groups of people out just for a wee trip out, maybe a wee lunch as well. And again, relying on one of our volunteer drivers to do that. So we started that last week. How did it go? On
Thursday, yeah. It was just such a great success. It was just so brilliant to get it on the road. Yeah, and the feedback has been amazing. There's so many people just saying, you know, they'd been locked away for like 18 months, 2 years, and they were with people again, you know, and actually that was the feedback, you know, that it was so brilliant just to be with other people in real life and not to just go out for the sake of going out rather than to go into a medical appointment or anything like that. And I think it's just so heartening, you know, there was just a real buzz about the place afterwards. It was brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, I saw some of these pictures and I mean, just one lady was just buying shoes, you know, which you think about it, it's such a simple thing, but if you're not adept at going online or you really just want to try on the shoes, you know, it was a big deal.
And just to have the company to do that as well, just to sort of to go around looking around the shop together, it was brilliant. They were at home mills and they were just brilliant.
Absolutely. Well, thank you again to our volunteers who take those trips and drive that bus and drive our cars week in, week out. So thank you. Now, what we're trying to do here with Ways to Wellbeing, as well as tell you about what we're doing, is hopefully inspire you by talking to people around Scotland and indeed around the world, hopefully, who are doing terrific things. And I cannot wait to introduce you to our guest this week, because this is someone who I first met, I think, about 20 years ago. At that point, she was quite an annoying student, you know, she was quite, you know, like very, you know, I want to get on, but her life's taken a few turns since then. And when I started working here in the charity sector, she was the first person I thought of, because I've basically been channeling her for months, trying to work out how I do this job, because she does her job so well. Let me introduce you, and let me introduce our viewers to Lesley Robertson.
Hello.
Hi.
You remember being an annoying student?
Very much so, very much so, yes.
I love that you're just owning that, you know, you're not denying it in any way.
No, 100%, absolutely. And I'm sure Jeff was actually probably the one that had a little bit more patience with me than, I mean, if you spoke to others, they might say worse. I'm honest.
Lesley, can I start by asking you what well-being means to you?
Well-being to me means healthy mind and healthy body, and living your life the way that you want to live it, that making all the decisions to make you happy.
Oh, brilliant. I mean, that's just...
I love the different definitions we get from
Yeah.
people, you know, it is, and it has to be something that means something to you, I think, you know. Lesley, you run a charity in the Hamilton
Yes.
area
Yes.
called Juniors. Tell us
Yes.
about that. Tell us about how long you've been doing that and what you do.
Okay, so I started the charity, which is actually called Families Like Us, but we trade under Juniors, and I'll tell you why in a second. In September 2015. The reason that we trade under Juniors is we are a place-based charity. So our centre looks like any other play cafe, soft play, bright colours, totally aimed at kind of children and parents. But if you are a family that's referred from social work or NHS, Women's Aid, experiencing any financial or emotional difficulty, you get to access the play centre and all the sessions, etc., that come with it for free, but no one knows. And that's to reduce stigma, take away isolation and feelings of loneliness. When we get the referrals in or people come that need the help, then we can work with them on a range of benefit support, childcare support. We teach them to cook meals on a budget. We offer them food packages, clothing packages. We can help them with a back to work program. We do counselling with them, CBT. So much more goes on behind the scenes. But the reason that, sorry, I went on a bit there, that we trade under Juniors is nobody wants to go for a coffee down Families Like Us, but you might just go for a coffee down Juniors, and you might just find that that's the place that can help you.
So that's your marketing brain at work there, isn't it? Yeah.
Yes.
Making it appealing. You have an unusual way of describing yourself. Have you seen the way that Lesley describes herself?
Yeah, so you made a career out of being a lone parent.
That is correct.
What does that mean?
Yes.
How did that come about?
Well, because no matter what way you looked at, 12 years ago, I became a lone parent after having my son. I was left from being pregnant from the minute I was pregnant, and I've been on my own ever since. I always had been ambitious, had degrees, etc. Didn't fall into the normal statistics of what they say about single and lone parents. And what I did after my son was born is I went to numerous self-help groups. Now remember, this is 12 years ago. Things are really, really different now. And they told me to save my milk tokens up. It was all about being a non-driver, a non-achiever, perhaps living in deprived areas. You know, basically it was classroom based and it wasn't helping. And I decided to go out and create health and well-being, I suppose what you guys are talking about, for other mums, and remind them of who they were before things went bad, or they get into a situation that wasn't what had been intended, and to remind them, the parent, of who they are and help them get on with their life, because you can achieve anything no matter what your circumstances are. So although I've been doing this since 2015, we have numerous contracts with the big guys out there. We work in schools, we work with Bernados, we work with all your kind of different various social work departments up and down the country. Ultimately, I started this career off because I was a lone parent, and that's why I say I made a career out of it.
Wow. So is that what motivates you then? You know, the fact that when you became a lone parent and everyone was just all of a sudden deciding for you that was it for you, you know, you were no longer going to be able to achieve the things that you wanted to do.
Yeah, exactly. That was that. In a first class honours degree, I'd always been ambitious. All that happened was I had a baby and I was going to be on my own with this child. And to be told that I was going to be all these statistics that wasn't me, I thought, no. So the ambition drives me in the sense of, I always have been business minded, as I've said. But when you start something that everybody tells you isn't going to work. You know, before I got the charitable status, all the big business folk told me it wouldn't work. In fact, a woman told me to give my cheque back to the lottery, that I had no chance of it ever working. So when you do something and it works and it has an impact and it helps other people, and then you do something else and that also works, people look forward to going on holiday. People look forward to a glass of wine on a Friday night. I get a buzz out of creating businesses and bringing my ideas that work. And that's where my ambition comes from. But I was actually thinking about this last night because we spoke about it. Another thing that drives me as well is my life could have been very different. I could have been one of them mums that needed help. I've just been lucky that I've been given an opportunity. And with the opportunity that I've been given, I don't think that anything that I do is out of the ordinary. I think that if you were given the opportunity and the place to be able to do it, that you would do it. And I suppose another thing that drives me, like all the other parents out there, it is just me. So, you know, I want my son to have a nice life. I want to have a nice life. And like all us parents, we do the best we can for our kids. So, yep, being able to run the business and use my business brain while helping folk is a great drive. My ideas working and being ambitious is a great drive, but also doing the right thing with my son is a drive as well. I may as well be honest.
Yeah. Well,
for many years, when you mentioned the term lone parent, the most famous person that came to mind was J.K. Rowling. You've got a wee bit of a connection with J.K. Rowling, have you not, Lesley? Or is it just someone you look to and say, well, if she can do it, I can do it?
No, actually, J.K. Rowling wasn't my role model, but we did end up getting a sponsorship from her for the charity and for the work that we do, which was fantastic because up till that point, I had opened in the September of 2015 at my first centre, which was in Lark Hall. By the December, I had begged, borrowed and stole or steal, whatever the saying is, because nobody was coming. Nobody was coming. There was it was given 25 grand off the lottery. My refurb was 18 grand. Few grand left to do it up. Nobody came. And the January, and I was talking about at this point kind of girl power. I think that we all talk about now, but back then people weren't into it. Come the January, the big lottery brought out a small grant for small charities. I was the only one in Scotland that won it in the area that I was in. And by the March, I had a sponsorship of J.K. Rowling, and that's when it took off. That's when the media get interested, the press get interested, and I was able to tell the story of what had happened, why I was doing this, and what my mission was, and that was without a doubt the turning point for juniors. You know, we went from a centre that had 21 seats to 2 years later having one that hosts over 100 seats. I had 10 members of staff, and that's only in centre. And we're due to open another 2 plus another business kind of branch to it within the next 3 years.
That's so inspiring. I mean, that must have been just so satisfying for you as well, because you would have known that whole time before you got the support and the sponsorship, you would have known that there was, you know, you had the help. You were looking to give the help to so many out there that needed it, and yet there was just not that connection between them actually coming and getting the help from you. It must have just been quite a frustrating process.
It was devastating. I used to work 6 days a week. I used to bring my son there on a Saturday. It was so cold, and I couldn't afford to put the heating on unless people came in because we didn't have the money. So I used to have to put my big jacket on. And I used to drop my son at school and then work till half every single day, 6 days a week. And nobody's coming. And people used to say to me, why are you doing this? This is soul destroying. And I was like, because I knew it would work. I knew it would work. I just needed someone to give me a chance. And that chance came with the J.K. Rowling sponsorship. And then people turned around and went, oh, actually, she knows what she's talking about. You know, actually, she's okay. And actually, she does talk a whole lot of sense. And now we certainly don't have that problem now. But everybody, I mean, that was from September, you know, right through to the January. And I remember my first wage that I got in the March, and it was £472. And I thought I was kidding million because I didn't earn a penny from that. I had nothing. I used to wear my mum's clothes, and I had one pair of jeans I had to wash every night. I had nothing, but I knew it would work. I knew it would work because it was something that I needed. And as much as I set this up to help folk, I was on a mission for someone to meet someone that was going to turn around to me and say, it's going to be okay. because it's a great success now, and we help. I mean, before COVID, we supported 48 families a week. Now we're up to 101 families a week, and it has been like that for a long time. But at the very start, when I had my son, when I was setting the charity or business up in the first, almost year of it, things weren't okay. Things were terrible. My mental health was terrible. My physical health was terrible, and I had to make it at work. So, to get that, that was really the big turning point. But I knew it would work, and it does. It helps a lot of people.
I told you.
I honestly, I just can't not speak to you and just feel totally inspired. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying that. It's brilliant. I just think
she's one of the unsung heroes.
Yeah, I mean.
However, let's get back to the personal life here. So, with all of these activities, and we've seen some pictures from your activities recently, Lesley, and the juniors book, and
yes,
you've been turning on you've been part of the Christmas light switch on and things like that. You got a choir together, all of that. You never stop.
No.
So what's your life-work balance like?
None. Well, that's not true. But it's kind of true. So I love what I do. This is the thing. It's not a job. If you decide to go into the charitable sector, it becomes a lifestyle. So if I was to work out my wages, I probably worked 90 pence an hour. So I probably was better off when I got that first wage check. But I work full time. I have a 12-year-old and 2 dogs. My son attends 6 classes a night a week. So within that time, I try to put in a bit of personal training, a little bit of tennis, but I'm a complete geek because I love to study. I just passed, I qualified with distinctions in my life coaching and my counselling. I'm looking at doing family law also. When most people are getting ready to go out at weekends, I'm thinking to myself, is there another funding form I can apply? Or I've got terrible OCD, and if I get an idea into my head, then that's it. I am consumed by podcasts, by research, and yes, I'm a professional geek. Perhaps that really should be my title.
Now, Nicola is a brilliant cook and baker, and I was interested. You mentioned your kind of your cooking classes, but I think I've also heard that you struggle even to make a cup of coffee and use a coffee machine. How are your cooking skills?
That's true. I am the worst. I'm worse than the world. My cooking skills are terrible. However, my manager that's not here today, and I call her my manager because she kind of manages me in everyday life, as well. So I call her my manager. She's a great cook, and she teaches them how to cook. You see, Jeff, I just organize. I just think of the idea, organize it all, and get other people to do it. I don't do that. My son will tell you I'm the worst cook in the world. So much so that I used to always eat out because we used to share meals. So I couldn't afford meals because we're quite small. He's quite small. I'm quite small. We used to share meals. And he used to say to me, "Mum, please, can we just eat at home?" I say, "How rude, Kyle. You get to go to all these wonderful places and you want to eat at home." It's like, please, just one night. Eat at home. So yeah, terrible cook.
Given what you said about your work-life balance, we're now Nicola's going to put you through your paces with our 5 steps to well-being. This is NHS approved step for a more rounded life. Now, every other guest we've had in the last 3 episodes has passed and has won a soft toy puffin from us. And I think we're being far too generous. If you don't pass our test, Angry Puffin might make an appearance. Angry Puffin has not yet been seen.
I don't think Angry Puffin ever needs to be seen,
right.
Jeff.
Now, I know Lesley has defied expectations of her all her life, right? But I don't think she's going to pass.
I mean, I would back Lesley 100% given what she said.
I think Angry Puffin's going to make an appearance. But
I hope not.
Take it away, Nicola.
So there's 5 questions, and if you could give us an example of each one, like something you've done in the past week. So the first one is connecting with other people.
Every day I connect with at least 45 to 48 people during my workforce. But if you're talking about in real connection, my members of staff, so there's 10 a day that I'm really connecting with, or 11 if you count my son.
What do you mean by that connection? Is it just saying hello? Is it,
No, because I feel in order to, it doesn't matter who comes through the door. You can get people that have just been up all night with a baby, or you can get people that are going through really serious challenges, and you can get referrals. People buy into people. Now, our play centre has won an award. We won Best Business in Lanarkshire, and it is great. It's designed by child development officers. They can see the kids wherever they are, blah, blah, blah. We have soft play, imagination play. But people need the personal touch. So whether it's a referral, whether it's someone that's just popped in, whether it's someone asking for directions, whether it's a big contract I'm getting in, everybody deserves to be spoke to as a person. And I am genuinely interested in people. So by connecting, I connect with everybody that comes through that door, even if it is a quick hello. If I know who they are and I know their child's name, I'll say, how's Harry getting on today? How did you get on at your job interview? Right, okay, let's sit down. We've got budget forms to look at. It depends on the situation. But I like people, so I connect. I would say I connect with everybody.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Okay,
that's
well,
great.
You got past that one. Yeah.
Thank you.
Has there been a time in the past week that you've been physically active?
Yes. Physically active in the sense that I do 10,000 steps a day within my work and without. And I was too tired to do any personal training or tennis Monday and yesterday, but I did take I've got puppies for 5 months. I did take them a walk, and they're twins. So I say,
oh wow, busy.
Twin pups. Yeah. mad, crazy mad. But yeah.
Have you learned a new skill in the past week? I mean, you were telling us all about you just love to learn, so I'm guessing you're going to pass this.
Well, I've signed up for further studies in child psychology.
Wow.
Because of my CBT, my counselling, we work with the NHS and our local doctor's surgery. Although I normally work with older ones, there are a few kids, so I thought I'll do some child psychology. So I've done chapter 1, which is the introduction, but I guess you could call that learning.
I mean, Jeff, you're. I don't know what you were thinking.
I don't know, but Angry Puffin is looming here. He's not going to be happy that he's not going to be in this episode. I'm sorry, it's not looking good, Angry Puffin.
Have you? I guess your whole work is about this, but I wonder if there's an example outside of work. Have you given to others in the past week?
Have I given to others in the past week? When I was round at Greg's this morning, which was before I came into work, I love Red Bull, which is really bad for us. I know we're talking health and wellbeing, but I like a kind of Red Bull in the morning because I'm up at 6:30, and by the time I get to work, I need something to jig me on. A woman had lost her purse. She'd been at Asda. I came in, lost her purse, and I paid for her breakfast roll and cup of tea.
Oh, you are just brilliant.
Yeah.
But who wouldn't do that? Who wouldn't do that?
Yeah.
Well, I lost my wallet yesterday. I didn't lose his wallet. And I didn't even know I'd lost it. I got a call from a woman saying, I've got your wallet and I'm up at the retail park. I thought, that's not sounding good. And she says, where can I meet you? And she came to the office and gave me back my wallet, and she was an NHS worker. And she didn't want anything for it, obviously, but we gave her some chocolates. But there is kindness out there, is what I would say.
Yeah. And this one is a bit about sort of mindfulness, and if you're any good at paying attention to the present moment.
I live in the present moment. Someone says to me, here's an idea, can you do this? I say yes. Yes. But as in, I don't do any mindfulness or any well-being. Do you know, I used to do it before, but I actually moved house 2 weeks ago, and the space I have in my new house, I decluttered before I moved, and the space that I have in my new house, which is for me, my son and my 2 pups, gives me all the kind of calmness and the chaotic lifestyle that I lead. I don't know if that counts, so I don't know if I'll pass that or not.
Half a point, maybe? Is that?
I would give you a point for that. I think mindfulness.
But the trouble is, it's got. I mean, I'm sure you are, but it's in the last week we're judging this criteria. So
yeah,
are you going to give it a full point, or are you going to give it a half a point?
I would
just. That's the angry puffin. I'm okay if you want to bring that.
No, we don't want that. We definitely don't want that.
Okay, well, let's give it the full point, right?
I think so.
Is that? Are we done? Is that
scoring
time? Scoring time. So, what's the score?
5 out of 5.
Oh,
there was never any doubt.
There was never any doubt. So, as a result, we'll be sending you. Here he is.
Oh, Thank you. I will put that up in my office. To remind,
Do you know
me of all the fun times that Jeff had to put up with me.
no puffins were harmed in the past. What I would say is we've been sending out these puffins to people, and everybody promises to send us a photograph of themselves. We've not had a single photograph back yet.
Don't worry, Jeff. I will send you, if I can get this out this now, I will send you this with the puffin, which is, I don't know if you can see it, Instagram post, and I'll put the puffin in it as well.
You're just brilliant, aren't you?
Yeah, very good. Although, quite frankly, we don't have Greg's up here, Lesley. So
not yet. It's coming.
Is it right? Yeah. We've got Harry Gowan, we've got Greg's. So if you don't send the puffin, send me a steak bake after with that. But speaking of puffins, you mentioned Dave Greer earlier on. Yeah. Dave Greer is one of our, he's on our board, but he's also one of our most dedicated volunteer drivers for our community transport system. We were talking about puffins last week, and we discovered Dave is a brilliant photographer, and he sent us these marvellous photographs of puffins that he took in Shetland that we put on our Facebook page. But let's have a look at those at the moment. Amazing, aren't they? Well, they're great photographs. Such a great photograph. Anyway, so remember, we've got a Facebook page. Our website is p4w.org.uk. If you want to find out what we do with our transport service, what we do with our walking service, and do keep watching, because if you're planning to get yourself fit in the new year, we had a meeting yesterday, and we've got a big new initiative coming our way. We can't tell you anything about that at the moment.
Very exciting.
Very exciting. In fact, you've come up with it, haven't you? No, you and Kate are our walk leader. So keep tabs on us that way. And if you want to send us some feedback, it's jeff@p4w.org.uk or
Nicola@p4w.org.uk.
In the meantime, thank you very much, Lesley, for being a brilliant and really, truly inspiring guest.
Very inspiring.
Thank you very much.
And take care, and thank everyone for listening. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Bye.